In this class, I am going to discuss about function without arguments and with return value. Previous I discussed about function with arguments and no return value. In this class, I am going to discuss about function without arguments and with return value. The function contains return value because with return value, a function contains with return value. So the return type is of the return type of the function is integer because I'm going to add two integer values. So the result of the two integer values is integer, hence it has to return the integer value. Here the function does not contain any arguments because function without arguments, no. Here the function does not contain any arguments, hence so here sum, okay na? So sum, so no arguments here. Previously I have seen sum, a function with arguments means I am writing int comma int. But here function without argument means no arguments written here, nothing is there here. Just I'm calling the simply I'm calling the function. This is function with no arguments. This is function with arguments. Here the function definition does not contain any argument, so reading should be done in called function. Here the function contain return value, hence display is done in the main function. So I'll explain. So I will explain through an example. Here the program is what? So function without arguments and with return value. Function without argument means, see here I did not write any what, so int sum. Okay, na? This is nothing but a function declaration. So any C program start with hash include standard input output header file int sum. Okay, na? Int sum means what? Int is a return type. Int is a return type. Sum is a function name, but no parameters. And this function declaration ended with the semicolon. This is nothing but function declaration. No return data. So it is a return data type is integer. Function name is sum, and no parameters inside the function. So previous with arguments with return value the function declaration is done like this int comma int, and this is nothing but so function with arguments. So this is function with arguments with return value. This is function with arguments but no return, sorry, function without arguments. So nothing is there here, simple open bracket and close bracket, and the function has to return some value, no, that is integer value. This is a return data type, this is a function name and arguments. But in this case function without arguments, simply I'm writing int sum open bracket and close bracket, no arguments. Okay, na? Every C program start with the main function. Okay, na? So the result is I declare as an integer. See here I am not passing any parameters because so function without argument, this is a function without argument, so we are not going to pass any value from main function to the user defined function. Okay, right. So I'm just I'm calling the functions. So I'm calling the function whenever compiler execute this, transfer goes from here this statement, this instruction to directly to the user defined function int sum. Okay, so because the main function is not passing any parameters, so the reading should be done in the user defined function. I'm not passing a equal to 10, some b equal 20 from the main function now, hence so in order to execute a program the user defined function needs some values. The values are declared inside the user defined function. Whenever any function without arguments, without argument means, okay na, so the function should be the variable should be declared in the user defined function. That's why this is function reading the function, reading the values in the user defined function. So printf enter two numbers, I'm entering a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. So x equal to 10, yes, sorry, x equal to 10, y equal to 20. So 10 is stored in the variable x and 20 is stored in the variable y. After that I'm adding 10 plus 20, so the result is 30, but 30 has to be written. 30 has to be written where it has to return from it, from where it was called. It was called from here, no. Now the 30 will be returned to the, okay na, sum main function, because so without arguments but the function should return some value, no. So it is returning from where it is returning, from where it was called. It was called from the main function, so 30 will be, so the 30 will come here, then 30 will be assigned to the result. Okay na? Then so the main function is going to print onto the screen output, so output is 30. Okay, Right. Functions with argument without argument means it doesn't pass any values, so values are declared in the user defined function. A function which returns some value means compulsory display is done in the main function. A function without return value means display is done in the user defined function. No return value. A function no return value means the display is done in the user defined function. A function which is with the return value means display is done in the main function. Okay. Right. So this is that. So I'm going to execute this function without arguments and with return value. So this is a any C program start with hash include stdio.h, and this is a void. Actually, sorry, return type is integer, sum is a function name, and no arguments or no parameters. Every C program start with the main function, and up to here main function. So because without arguments, right? So I'm not taking any a value b value from the main function. So I'm declaring result as an integer, and this is the calling function. So this is a function declaration, this is the calling function, and this is a user defined function. Clear? Now I'm calling the function without any passing any parameters, so directly control goes to the user defined function. This is a user defined function. Because main function is not passing any arguments, so the function declaration is done in the variables are declared in the user defined function. So x, y, and so entering two numbers, x value is 10, I'm entering y value is 20. Now 20 plus 10 30. So but 30, the function has to return some value. Now 30 is going back to the from where it was called some function. So 30 will be assigned to the result, and display is done in the main function. Okay, let me execute this. So I'm entering the same two numbers, 10 and 20. So displays the output. Okay, thanks for watching. Thank you very much.